All right, welcome back. Let's quickly bring you into everything that we're doing on the show. Let's, you know that you can be a part of what we're doing right here. You can, put your thoughts in. You can send us a message, Sport This Morning at channelstv.com. You can send us a mail on Facebook, Channels-Sports, and on Twitter, that's our verified handle at Channels_Sports. Speak up on the head this morning on the show. You can, give your opinion to all the issues that we've raised on the program. All right, let's go on with the show. Let me quickly introduce Chidebere Izani. It's always good to have you around.
It's always a pleasure to be here, guys.
All right. Tayo, first shot.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, it's not a dong. Howley hope to you. Well, let's talk about the Tigers. They're in the quarterfinals now. That's no news anymore. But a lot of people, the ones I've spoken to, like you as well, so you're going to have to talk more on that. They're not very convinced with what we've seen so far from the team. What's your own take on that?
I think... I don't know how to explain it, but the team seems to fade away in the third quarter. They play so good the first and second quarter, and then it seems as if they lose direction. They won the first and second quarter against DR Congo, which for me in this group is the hardest we've had. And if you cannot win your games after winning the first two quarters, or at least stay in the game till the end, it just leaves you vulnerable. And like I said, DR Congo is the strongest we've played so far. They had it easy against Mali. We saw what happened against the Ivorians, win the first and second quarter, and we almost lost it in the fourth quarter. I just think is either they tire out or maybe is the quality of the players we have. Because when we play the big boys, and we will be tested against Cameroon, it's going to be very tough.
Yes, it will be very tough. I mean, you mentioned the players. I don't think it's about talents, though, because if you look at the back court, for example, Ike Rebo, the point guard, Ike Nwamu, the shooting guard, these guys are really, really good players. We've seen, what they're capable of. The front court as well has got Ike Diogo is a veteran.
Power forward, yeah.
Right, I mean, he's probably second top scorer at the tournament right now. Ike Rebu's leading assist as well, too. He's up there. So it's not time. I don't think it's the players, really. Perhaps the other issues, maybe preparations-wise, we all know how that panned out. Maybe that's starting to show now. I remember the last time you were here as well, so you were like, okay, maybe they'll get better as the competition progresses. They still got a chance to do that now. They're still in the competition.
After the first game, I was like, okay, maybe something happened, travel, lack of preparation. Right. Let's see how they go from there. And unfortunately, it was the same thing.
No, it wasn't
against Mali, yes, it was.
It was a convincing win.
It was a convincing win in the first and the second quarter. In the third quarter, the Malians seemed to have found their way. It was just because Ike Diogo was being a fantastic power forward in that game. In the fourth quarter, he had it with the team. So for me, I think maybe these are professional basketball players, so I don't want to say there's an inability to interpret the instructions of the manager, which I said was credit to the Tigers for some of their fantastic performances. So if you ask me, I think these guys, they have, I don't know how to explain it, but I just think for the fact that they did not have a long-time preparation, it might just have...
it takes me to where I'm going. Do we already have an excuse in the bag if we don't meet up to the expectations of, the fans and everybody? Is an excuse already in the bag?
We don't need an excuse. Part of competition is the fact that you might get beaten. Your preparation determines how far you go. And with our preparations, we should be clapping for them already. So as much as we love to win as Nigerians in whatever sport we participate in, we tend to forget that these other countries actually spend a lot of time preparing for these tournaments. And you don't just do an overnight vigil and then expect to do as good as they have been. I think if anybody comes out with any form of complaint, I just think it's an excuse to cover up the fact that we have a level of inconsistency in our preparations with preparations to tournaments. So we don't need an excuse. If we get beaten by Cameroon, which might seem likely, if you ask me, as painful as it is, there shouldn't be an excuse. We just come home.
Right. The coach, Alex Nwara, is on record as saying as well, too, preparations, I know it's not been ideal, but we're not giving any excuses. We're going to go into the tournament and try to defend the title. The group stage is over now, Chidebere. It's Cameroon on Thursday. Your prediction for that one? I mean, do you think Nigeria can go a step further into the semis?
They have to build their strength, because sometimes during those third and fourth quarters that I complain about, you find out that they drag a lot, even when they make a lot of changes to the team. Of course, you can't change your best legs or you just drag behind. They need to build their strength, resistance. You have to go the whole haul. If they're able to do that, Cameroon, they're a very strong side, barely lost out to Tunisia in that particular one, in Group C. So if we can match them for physicality, we don't necessarily need to do that, because I think we're a little bit more skillful. But if we can be strong, I know first and second quarter, Nigeria will be in the game. It's what happens after the second quarter that, it just worries me.
That's your main worry?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's...
All right, you've been real with us. You've given us your thoughts. But let's, a little room for optimism. Let's be Nigerians and...
Ty will tell you I'm probably the most optimistic Nigerian basketball fan, but when you see it, you have to call it. You have to call it. Like Cameroon, they might not be the most skillful side in the tournament, but they do it mechanically and they make it work. Okay. So if we are able to stick to the game, or better yet, win the first two quarters with fantastic points, and then maybe we can, stick it out in the third and the fourth quarter.
Yeah, basically, I mean, I get what you're saying. Win very well in the first two quarters, then lock it down defensively, which it's not been very impressive. It's not been very impressive. Right. We might just have a chance of qualifying for the semifinals.
For sake of optimism, I think we have fantastic players. Nwamu, his awesome. Windmill dunk, it was fantastic. I love that. And then, of course, you see when Ike Diogo comes, if he's coming on a layup, you just part way. You don't want to get a knee on your face. Yeah. So we have players who can actually, intimidate these players to, we're bigger than you. We're defending champions. If they can't carry that on their shoulders, then maybe you might just
The Cameroonians are beatable. They're beatable.
Yeah, they are.
Let's move on. Let's move on from basketball.
Okay, I'm tempted to ask you this. Quick response. Any other team that has caught your fancy? I know your eyes on Nigeria, but any other team caught your fancy?
Of course, the usual Angola, Tunisia. They play very well. They're not usually the African. They're not usually up there. But being a host nation, also they've been playing well. Senegal also. So most of these teams are playing well. You can see how long it's taking them, in their preparations, and you can see it working for them.
Starting to reflect, starting to show. So that's it for FIBA Afro Basket going on in Tunisia, where Nigeria will play Cameroon in the quarterfinal.